Hello, today I'm going to be doing my presentation on Jeopardy style tests for a higher education, a web application, with mentorship from Sean Feruzian. Now, who am I? My name is Eamon Mikulec, although everyone in my life calls me Boogie, so you can too. I'm a high school student who has been taking community college classes for the past 4 years. And I'm actually going to UCSD in the fall as a computer science and mathematics major, and I'm really excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have a lot of background in computer science. I've loved mathematics and computer science from a super young age, and I actually taught myself how to code when I was around 11 with nothing more than Google, YouTube, and a laptop, which is really all you need nowadays. I've created many, many small projects and tools throughout the years, although mostly they've only ever been for myself. I've done some stuff here and there for other people, but it's usually only for me, just taking a class and, ooh, I want to make a little thing real quick that might help me or, do something like that. Although they've never been for a large general audience or for a cause or something like that. So I'm actually really, really excited about that. It's going to be really cool to have someone else actually be using my thing and it's helpful to them and it's exactly what they need. Now, in the title, it says Jeopardy style tests, and that isn't a widely known term, right? That doesn't have an intuitive understanding. So, let me explain it. Jeopardy style tests are a way to give students their own personalized tests that they've kind of created themselves. So how it works is the teacher creates a bunch of different problems, and for each topic they have their own difficulty. So, for example, on the right, there are 10 topics, and for each topic there are 4 difficulties. 100 being the easiest and 400 being the hardest. So, as a student, you can go through and actually choose your difficulty for each topic, right? So let's say you're very, very confident in fundamental theorem of calculus. Well, then I'll take a 400 on that one. But let's say you're not too sure on integration by substitution, then you will go, all right, well, then I'm going to take a 100 on that one. And of course, there are rules to this. You have to yeah, a student must choose at least one problem for each topic, right? You can't just skip a topic. You can't choose more than 2 problems for each topic. You can only choose 2, so 100, 200, 200, 300, 300, 400, right, in that example. And you must accumulate a total number of points, right? On the example on the right, a good choice would be 3,000 points, right? So you must choose 3,000 points. So you can go through and go, all right, I'm going to do all 300s, and you'll accumulate 3,000 points. Or you could go through and mix and match, right? Oh, I'm going to take a 100 there because I'm not too sure. Ooh, I can take a 400 there because I know that one really well. And you can totally mix and match. I was actually first introduced to Jeopardy style tests through my mentor, Sean Feruzian, and I actually thought it was really, really cool. And I was first a bit skeptical, but as actually going through the process myself, it was actually really, really interesting. And I liked it quite a lot. And although there are benefits to the students, there are actually benefits to the teacher as well, right? So the teacher can actually see, the student's confidence through this process and which topics are difficult for them, for the students, that is. But there's a problem with Jeopardy style tests. Since every student has their own test, teachers have to create a personalized test for each and every student, right? I mean, that is kind of the whole point, but it takes a lot of time from the teachers. And in the example of Math 155, Professor Feruzian actually stressed that, right? He was like, although this is a lot of work on my end, I have to do a whole bunch of stuff, it's worth it for these kind of tests. And I agree. I think it was a really cool process, and it worked really well. But he stressed a lot how difficult it was. And he distributed PDFs for his tests, which means he had to create over 30 PDFs for those over 30 students, right? Because every single student has to have their own test, which means they have to have their own PDF, right? And each one of those PDFs was averaging around 15 problems for for each PDF, right? And the best solution that he could come up with was create one big PDF and delete all the problems that the students didn't include in their specification, right? So you have to go through and delete every single one, go through for every single student, and it was really, really slow. He stressed this, it was really slow, but you know what? It's worth it. And I visioned a solution to this, right? A tool for this exact process, right? My teacher was just using some run-of-the-mill PDF editor that was not made for something like this. So I envisioned something to fix this problem. Create a tool to assist in the test-making process, right? So the teacher provides every problem as a single PDF to the program, and the tool gives the teacher an easy-to-use interface for selecting these problems, right? So the teacher creates, problem 1, puts it in, problem 2, puts it in, problem 3, puts it in, and then eventually, once all the problems are in there, he can select each one and go, all right, 100, 200, 100, 200, 300, create PDF, and it will take all the problems he selected and put it into one PDF, right? It will just make things a lot quicker. And I built that. And I built a custom web app to automate the process, right? It was around 600 lines of code, and it was only 600 lines of code just to manage the code complexity. I didn't want to make it this big, huge monster of an application that was slow, and it was really hard to expand because it was a big monster, right? I wanted just something simple, something lightweight, something that worked and did exactly what it needed to do and nothing more. This shouldn't be, a new PDF editor. This is to solve one problem and do it good. And I, for the UI UX or, user interface and user experience, it's intuitive, it's efficient, it's snappy. I actually consulted with a UI UX expert to make sure it was intuitive, efficient, and snappy. And I got some feedback and I did that, right? And it was created with modern web technologies. This is not something that's, from the early 2000s that's slow and doesn't respond and looks old. It's made with modern web technologies. HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, and a JavaScript framework called Svelte that's there to manage the complexity of the application and actually make things very, very responsive on the user's end. And I could go into the specifics of why I used, a hash map for saving the PDFs over an array or over a two-dimensional array or anything like that. But I'd rather just show you the application, right? I think that's a better idea. So if you go to the page, it's just going to present you with this. It doesn't look too crazy, but this is going to be our table where we select our problems. So we can put in, for this one, topic 1, topic 2, and let's say we want another topic. Of course, we don't want just only 2 topics. Let's create a third. So we can hit this plus button over here, and that will create another topic. And as well, we want another difficulty, right? We don't just want 100 and 200 for our difficulties. We want a 300 per se. And then you can create as many as you want. You can go through and create 10, 20. I mean, I don't know why you would want to create 20, but you could do all those things. And you can actually delete ones in between. So topic 2, I don't want it. I can just hit this minus and it will go away, right? And we got to change that to topic 2. And then you can select the PDFs for this topic difficulty pair, right? For topic 1, difficulty 100, we can click on this and we can actually click on this PDF that I made previously, right? We can go through and do it for every single one. But I've actually done that already. I've created a template, right? So you can actually send this to someone or, one teacher to another. You can actually send these across and then you can go through and edit them there. Or you can save them yourself so you have the backup of your previous tests. And once you're done editing this template, you can do finish editing, and it will give you this view. And this is where you're going to spend most of your time as a teacher in putting students' specifications for their tests and stuff like that. So let's say there's Bob, right? And we can put in the name here. And he picked for topic 1, 100 and 200. For topic 2, 100, 200. And for topic 3, 300. So we just select those, and it will give us a total points. So 900 was the total points, and let's say you have a point requirement like 1,000. Well, then you can look at this and go, oh, he didn't reach it, or something like that. And then once we have everything here, we can actually hit save, and it's going to download a PDF, and that PDF is going to have each problem, right? So we click on this PDF, and we're going to have topic 1, difficulty 100, which is one of the ones we selected. And then we scroll down, and we should expect topic 1, difficulty 200, which is exactly what we get. But remember, we didn't pick topic 1, difficulty 300, so that's not going to be included. It jumps straight to topic 2, difficulty 100, because that was the next one we selected, right? And we can go through, and let's say there's Alice, right? We can go through, and she did all 300s, right? And we can save that. And it's really snappy, really quick, and we get that PDF, and we are good to go. We can just quickly and just hit that, and we're it's quick, it's snappy, and it does exactly what it needs to do. And so what are some what's the future of this project look like? I want to present it to the math department at MiraCosta and UCSD, explain what Jeopardy style tests are and their benefits, and also give them this website and say, hey, it might be difficult to make all these different tests, but here's something that will help in that process, right? And I could also add some features in the future, right? Like a target score. As it is right now, it just tells you what the score is, but it doesn't warn you if the student is below that score. So it could yell at you and say, hey, it's the student didn't accumulate the right amount of points. And could add something like a minimum and maximum problems for each topic, right? In the rules, you know how I said you must choose one problem for each topic? That's not enforced in the program, so you could do something like that and say, oh, they have to pick one problem for each topic, or a maximum, like they can't pick 3 for each topic, right? And in the far, far future, if this does work out, we could actually make this a platform to distribute tests, Jeopardy style tests. So rather than creating PDFs and sending it to the student, well, you could give the student the link to the test, and they will be able to create their own test on that site. And rather than create a PDF, they just look at the problems. It's on the site. A website, we can put problems on there. And then potentially we could also download them if they want to write on it or print it out or something. But you could actually view the problems on the site. And I think that is a really, really cool future for this project, that rather than just creating PDFs, it's actually a test platform. And I think that would be really cool. And I think that is all. So thank you so much.